Welcome to Treasure Valley Podcast. I'm Chuck. Today's episode is brought to you by LowerGentry Studios. LowerGentry Studios has a new web series, Canyon County, and you can catch the first episode on their YouTube channel right now. Today, I sit down with Hakeem Prime. Hakeem Prime is a Treasure Valley hip-hop artist. We talk about hip-hop music here in the Treasure Valley, and we talk about a lot of different interesting topics, so enjoy. Welcome, Hakeem.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So we were just chatting quite a bit about lots of creative endeavors,
Yes.
and you were telling me about your viral video that you had quite a while ago. And I'm gonna turn your microphone up there because I don't think you're up high enough.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool.
There we go. That's much better. So. Do you want to just kind of talk about your journey a little bit?
Starting from that viral video, or should I go back a ways?
I'm kind of interested in your musical history.
Okay, so the first time I did music, and I'm gonna take it there because I think that's very interesting, and I think that's it's a big part of how I became to be me. So I saw this website. It was called Jam Glue. Okay, this website is where you could make remixes off of other people's songs.
Okay,
so it had their beat, it had a recording studio process inside of the website. So I would use this site called Jam Glue and just remix other people's songs. I would do this so much that I will become popular on this website.
Okay,
I was like #1 all the time. I would then get my cousins involved in the local area, and this was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And we would just, do this so good. We would keep being #1. Then they switched it off to sanctions. So then that website, right? It got deleted. It got canceled because that was the first website where, well, I don't know if that was the first website, but that was a place where they didn't have the rights for this music.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the industry was taking over and was like, hey, if you don't have the rights, you can't have people remix this stuff.
Yeah.
It can't be downloaded by other people. You have to pay for this. So that website got messed up. But from that platform, right, Reverb Nation was coming up. So I feel like they kind of took that process, took it to Reverb Nation, and that's why you see people being ranked. That's why you see people, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm not familiar with Reverb Nation.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
What's
Reverb
that?
Nation is it's a regular music platform where you can put your music on there for free.
Okay.
They'll rate people from different cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
SoundCloud-ish.
SoundCloud-ish. Yeah, I would say so. SoundCloud's a little better, but that's my preference.
Okay.
But when it comes to finding local talent and seeing who's #1 in the area, Reverb Nation is where you should go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you started making music
Jam
on
Glue.
there then?
Yes, Jam Glue, and then and that was just remixes, and then I took my own music, and then I started putting on Reverb once Jam Glue was over with, because that was just where the motivation came from, as far as how to record, what I sound like, how can I remix other people's songs. So then, and in fact, before I even went to Reverb, I went to a place called Dat Piff. So Dat Piff, in my high school years, the middle school years, that's where you got all the mixtapes. So Lil Wayne, everybody who was popular, that's where you got all the mixtapes. And at one point in time, you can put a mixtape on there for free.
Okay.
Now it costs about $100 to do like a sponsored, thing to where they'll promote it. But it was free. My first mixtape was called Hyphy Boy, The Mixtape.
Yeah.
The mix, because I wanted to make it official.
Yeah. This
you know
is
what I'm
my
saying?
mixtape.
Yes, this is mine. Now, I have up to 3 mixtapes called the Mixtape Series by Hakeem Prime, or you can look it up as Hyphy the Spider. But yeah, that's how everything started, man. It was just, a process of me trying to see if I can sound as official as, everyone else that was making music at the time.
Yeah, and the production value, I was telling you before you came here that I was listening to Signs. That one you have on Spotify.
Yes.
Hopefully you permitted that to be on Spotify. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
Right now it's Signs Season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm doing it like a fortnight a little bit.
Oh, okay. So this is like an ongoing project then.
It's going to be an ongoing project because, a lot of people don't realize music takes a while for it to get into people's ears. And, I got a mentor. and they were once signed to Interscope and stuff like that. So they were telling me like, if you're gonna do music, if you're not touring, you need to keep one bar, of a sound and evolve on that sound. But yeah, let's not get out of the topic. Back to the viral video.
Yeah.
That video, it's interesting because I came here officially. I came before when I was a kid, and then I came back in 2013, and I was like, wow, this place, and I'm fresh out of where was I? No, so I was in Atlanta, and then I moved to Portland, Oregon, for about a year. And that was in 2012. And then I came here in 2013, and I was checking it out. I was like, there's not really a music scene out here. I don't think I want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm not going to be here. So it took me, I went back to Florida, and I was like, I'm about to stay in Florida. And I was there for about another year and a half, and I came back 2015. I was like, okay, well, if there's no music out here, then I'm going to make some music out here.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
The first person I ran into, actually the first person I met musically was Zero.
Okay.
Here. And I met him through a friend by the name of Erica. She worked at the Boutique Club, and I was doing my first album release party. And this was for Forthcoming, which is not out in stores right now because it's only exclusive like on YouTube or something.
Okay.
No, Bandcamp.
Okay.
So I was doing an album release for that. He killed it. Like I was like, yo, that's urban style. He killed it. I met a guy by the name of Ozomatic, DJ out here. He does Thump now. He's doing real good for himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I realized very quickly that wow, there's a lot of talent here in Boise. And I was just like taken away. And then I met, Big Mike 208 Music. There's a lot of people I just met, and I was like, wow, why hasn't this blown? Why hasn't this gone anywhere? And I think it's just a lot of different mentalities, and then the area itself is not built for like hip hop music in a way.
Yeah, that was kind of the latest. I remember the Shredder, I think, opened in right around then, right?
Oh, really?
2013, I want to say, maybe 2014.
Okay.
And they have the amalgam of like death metal and hip hop, I'm pretty sure. Is usually
since I've been there, it's been a little of both. Yeah.
Yeah, and so but I remember when they opened, it was like, we are going to specialize in these types of music. And I was actually living in an apartment within walking like 2 blocks.
Oh, awesome.
2 blocks from that place. And so I caught a couple shows, and it was kind of cool. But Boise to me is kind of interesting. It's unique. Since I've lived here, I moved here from Sacramento. Prior to that, I like grew up in Yankton, South Dakota, a little tiny town.
Yankton, South Dakota.
Yeah, Yankton, South Dakota. It was like 12,000 people. But I left there because it was too cold in the winter times, and so I'm like, I'm going to California. No more snow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sacramento had a pretty decent music scene, but the thing when I moved to Boise, I was like, there were a lot of acts that were on their way up to Seattle or to Portland, like the big name acts, and then they just seemed to stop in Boise. And I'm like, this is really slick. I mean, I don't know how many live shows you go to. The thing is like hip hop is a new, like I'm just discovering that now in my mid 30s, like a few years ago. Yeah.
I think that's Boise in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of young people who know of it and who go to these shows that come people that come here. Lil Wayne's been here. There's a lot of people who's been here, but I feel like the Idaho in a whole it's not a hardcore hip hop, place at all.
No, I actually saw Snoop Dogg at downtown. Now the name of the place escapes me. The one that had the fire in it. Good gravy.
Oh, the Knitting Factory.
The Knitting Factory, yeah.
Yes.
So I saw him at the Knitting Factory, and it was a super cool show because that place is small.
Oh, okay.
You know, you go in there and it's with Snoop Dogg and his whole crew.
It's bigger now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gary Pike, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He does his thing. He got Parallel and everything like that. And Wyclef has been there, since then. It's a lot of, proactive hip hop things going on.
Yeah.
But Idaho is so
one of those acts is not going to be in one of the stadium style big
I mean,
arenas.
We've had them, Lil Uzi Vert was just, Fort Idaho station. You know, so
Oh, wow.
it's
Okay.
or a sinner, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's been there, but I don't know. I feel like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Um, and I always say this. I don't know. I'm forgetting the word that you would use, but it's I don't know. I guess it just doesn't have that yet. It doesn't have that strength
Hmm.
for hip hop.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of these young kids that are into it, they're gonna grow, and you know, hopefully they persuade, and that's our hope. I think everybody here that does music, a local artist or whatever, they're striving to help the movement for hip hop in the future.
Hmm.
I mean, that's why we're doing it because
And why did you end up coming to Boise? That's a curious question because you were in Portland. They have a pretty intense music scene.
yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
good things and I've heard bad things about the music scene in Portland from some of the artists that I work with.
Let's just say, you know, I think honestly, I think wherever you've grown up
Mhm.
is where you could thrive in music,
Yeah.
unless there's no music scene,
Hmm.
or a, you know, I guess piqued interest for the music scene.
Yeah.
Um, you know, when you are in Atlanta, which I've grown up there, when you are in California, which I've grown up in Oakland, California.
Yeah.
When you say Idaho or Boise,
Hmm.
they're like, "What are you talking about?" They're thinking that I'm talking about somewhere in the UK or something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not to say that Idaho or Boise is whack or is a dumb place to be, but it's to say that I there's no piqued interest there.
Yeah.
You know, as far as that scene. So when I thought about where should I go with my kind of music and me being, you know, here before, I was like, oh, Idaho.
Hmm.
Cause if I go to Atlanta, I'm just another guy who raps
Yeah.
and sings.
Hmm.
If I go to Portland, I'm another guy who raps and sings.
Yeah.
California, same deal. If I go to Idaho, more people are gonna be like, oh, he raps and sings. You know,
Mhm.
that, you know, he has an opinion about things.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about Trump in his song. Oh, he's you know, at March for Our Lives making a speech. He's at Enough is Enough walk making a speech. So that's the kind of thing that I wanted to show people, that I'm a different person. You know, I'm not, you know, the same. I don't stay in that same lane as other people. That was the whole thing. You know, I
Kind
guess
of pioneer some of the music here.
exactly.
Cool.
But you know, like I said, there are tons of talented guys here. But unfortunately, the scene here, you can't handle it like as if it's Atlanta. You
Mhm.
can't do the things like if it's California. You got to do it differently.
Yeah.
So if you do it differently, you'll prevail. That's how I see it.
So where you were talking too about your well, actually, we didn't talk about your goals at all, but you were giving me some of your business ideas because you did have that video that went viral.
Yeah.
And then you said that you're.
And I was in Boise when that went viral.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. if you don't mind.
So I did the video with Jay Kenneth, and I think it's just Jay Photography right now.
Okay.
And you know,
yeah, Jay. I've met him several
Jay.
times because he's in the film community.
awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. He's very to himself. He probably won't even say that, but I don't know. Maybe he is. But we did it, and he actually got these models.
Mhm.
You know, I put it in his hand. I was like, "Hey, I can pay you for this. You know, let me know this and that." Boom, and then he set it all up. We did it. And you know, I was like, "Hey, I want to show you where I want to, you know, take it as far as direction." He was like, "All right, come to the office," and we knocked it out. And I was just like, "Yo, I'm gonna make this hit $1 million." I told him that.
Yeah.
And like sitting down editing it, it's
Yeah.
about to hit $1 million, dog.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
Like he's literally like, he's nonchalant about it,
Mhm.
but he's like,
Well,
all
I believe
right,
it when I
cool.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type of guy. And sure enough, man, like it was just going up and going up and going up, and super happy for it. But like I said, like at that point, this is 2015. At that point, I'm like, okay, I think I can just do this. You know what I'm saying? The you know, the cloak around it is like, if you go viral, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna just be famous after that.
Mhm.
They're gonna put it in the tabloids and blah blah blah. There's a truth to that, but you know, there's a lot of other stuff that goes with it.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because I think that the people do have that mentality. If I put something up there and I'm in the millions of views, then there it is.
Yeah, and that's super far from the truth because a lot of things go into play. And I don't want to really say too much because a lot of people are going to be like, no, that's not true, blah blah. But I'm gonna just keep it at that. If you hit 1 million, it's not the end. You're not about to be blast off unless you get through certain doors, and other people have to get you through those doors. Money can go so far. And I feel like from that experience, I've gained a lot. I know a lot about SEO optimization now. I know a lot about, marketing now. You know what I'm saying? So there's a controlled way to do it. There's an uncontrolled way to do it. And that 2015 instant for me was uncontrolled. But I had a certain sense of where it would go for, I guess, that, confidence thing.
Yeah.
And I just did it. I did it, and I really don't want to spill the beans on how, because that's my own thing. I found that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if I get into any kind of business with someone or something like that, I'll definitely let them know. But that's just something that I want to keep to myself.
Yeah.
That way, because I found it out. You just can't give everything to everybody.
Well, and that's another business opportunity then for you in the long run. If you have a way, if you have a formula to make sure that you're funneling people to your content, then it's good. I mean, obviously, the creative end, is ideal, and that's kind of how I feel. Is like when I'm working on creative projects, that's my favorite thing. But the problem is you still have to have that marketing, that business sense, because there is just so much out there. There's so many musicians. There's so many photographers. There's so many filmmakers. It's just the people that it seems like if you just stick with it long enough, and you have to have that marketing sense eventually.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like a lot of people want to. Like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat anything right now. I was one of those kids that believed I would make it overnight. And I believed that for a long time.
That never goes away. That never goes away. Because when my brother and I were filming our first film, we were just like, oh, this is it.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna go. We're gonna get a contract, and it's gonna make a bunch of money. Like you don't go into that thinking that it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just when it doesn't, you accept it, and you either move on and continue to grind away, or you just give it up.
Yeah, but that's where people get stuck in like a cycle at sometimes, and where you're just keep doing things, and then you're realizing that okay, it's not how my dream ended up, and then the person who really gets messed up is the person who says, "Oh, I failed," or "My dream failed. I'm just gonna keep going without a plan. Whatever." It'll happen.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. Like
Yeah.
I literally, before I did that slip up video, I had that thought, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that no more. I just like, I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm gonna have a plan for it. So I kind of like studied.
What does that look like? I'm curious about that because I know exactly what you're saying. Is sometimes you get caught up in the making of content, and I've definitely been with that. And LowerGentry Studios is the studios that we run here. I mean, this is out of my house, and sometimes you know how to do something and you know how to do it well. You get caught up in that, and you lose sight of well, who am I making this for?
Yes. Because like there's a purpose and a reason why you did it, and if you're gonna lose that if you keep trying to stay into the dream of whatever you made the dream outside of it for, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, give me an example.
Well, like for example, I did music to get away from my home situation. You know what I'm saying? To get away from the the realization of whatever thing I wasn't going to be able to have, or whatever kind of connection I wasn't going to be able to have. So I started doing music to make sure I protect myself from that. You know what I'm saying? And if it would have came to light, then I would have backed away from music, but it never did. So I kept doing it. But then when you plan on doing something and making it go viral or whatever, getting signed, and then you don't, you back away from it. You back away from that whole, protection thing that you were doing in the first place.
Yeah.
And then that becomes something that, you're doing something for nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then if you don't overcome that, if you don't push through with that, because I feel like with that whole instance of me doing music first, I feel like I pushed through that. I feel like now I'm at a point where, I didn't have to do music to get away from that. I could just change myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to get away from a certain kind of pain that I was feeling in the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I could have just fixed it myself. But now I've already gained this, music awareness and how to do it. So now just hone on to it, and then, it'll take you somewhere, what you did.
Yeah. And what are your next steps that you see? And is this kind of constantly changing? Is that kind of...
Yeah, because it becomes an extra tool. It's like a wrench you hold in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just becomes, something that you have that you can use and, kind of show people too. Like, because there's a lot of people who are hungry, who want it as bad as you. And if you could, give them a pebble, you know what I'm saying, and then show them, because a lot of people have that. A lot of people are doing music, nowadays to get away from some kind of turmoil or whatever have you.
Yeah.
And you can see that now. You see it as clear as hell, but then they probably have it in the back of their head. But then you give them something and they're like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that actually fits with what I have. So that's what keeps it going. And as far as plans goes, I just want to keep going, and I just want to take my music to different places. I know I have I did this song called Real People, and I did it got into a movie.
Okay.
Cody Newton?
Yeah. So
Newton to Newton, he just did Brothers and Bandages.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got the song in there. So I want to do more things like that.
Oh, cool. We're actually going to be debuting the second episode of our web series at the reshowing of Brothers and Badges.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So I think that's okay. Thursday. I think this will be airing on the same day that
okay,
cool. So
cool.
Hopefully you checked it out already.
Yes. But yeah, I just want to keep pushing for that. I want to push for mental health awareness.
Oh, okay.
Last year I did a thing called Real People Project where, we were donating money to Anami Treasure Valley.
Okay.
And that kind of fell back because Anami had already gotten a big, budget from their I guess mother company, however you want to put it. And, they didn't really need it. So I was like, oh, snap. Let's back away, refunded people money. But yet and still, it was still there. Like, I still want to push for mental health.
Okay.
I dealt with that with my mother when I was a child. My mother has a mental health issue and has had that, as I was a child. And that was one of those reasons why I was doing it. Like, it was a bunch of different reasons. It was like, there was 3 big reasons. There was 3 big reasons. And that was one of them. Like, because I remember, like, when I was a kid and my mom would bring my cousins over. I had 3, like, cousins that would come over all the time, and they would just be rapping. Like, just rapping.
Yeah.
The hottest songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are y'all rapping? But then I would see my mom, and other than being sad, how she usually is, she's literally smiling at them. You know what I'm saying? Smiling like, wow, they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so that inspired you to...
That inspires me to keep doing that. And, just to see that smile on her face, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of instances where she would, ask for help from family members. And for whatever reason, it couldn't, it wasn't there at the time that she needed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that turned into, depression or whatever, whatever she was dealing with. And, I don't want to get too far into it, but mental health means a lot to me. And, even after that instance of me going viral, it was kind of like, dang, man. And even all those other times where I didn't go viral, and before that, that was a whole process of trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, man, I'm doing all this music. I've been #1 on so many sites and this and that. Why is it not, doing anything? So even after, that went viral, it was just like, okay, cool. But then, time goes past, you're still not signed or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then people try to, there was an instance where I thought I was going to be on Young Money, Cash Money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody tricked me out of like $1,900.
Oh.
Yeah. Put my name on, it was like a mixtape. And you can see it to this day. My name is on there.
Oh, wow.
It's an intro from DJ Drama. And it's acting like it's introducing me on Young Money. But it's not. It was fake.
Okay. So there were a lot of people coming out of the woodwork when
Yeah,
you hit that, and they were after
yeah,
whatever cash
yeah.
grab.
They got it though.
Yeah.
They got it.
Well, sometimes those are expensive lessons, but
Yeah.
lessons you got to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get away from all. There's a lot of things that tries to bring you down while you're trying to bring yourself up.
Yeah.
And it's just a learning curve, man. It's just a learning curve you got to get over.
Right on. And so you advocate for mental health?
Yes.
Currently,
I'm a big advocate for mental health awareness.
That's kind of something that I think is really important too. I mean, we just did a web series about it, and it's a very realistic look at it. Okay. You know, because I used to work with kids, as did my brother, like young kids, and sometimes it looks like just behavioral issues that kiddos need to, you know, either be punished. A lot of people just oversimplify things, you know, just like, you gotta punish this kid. You gotta make sure that you're holding them accountable for all these different things.
What kind of punish though? That's
yeah, exactly. And so we have some scenes in there where, you know, some kids are flipping out, and it looks, you know, absolutely ridiculous, but that's kind of the truth. Is some of these, everybody's brains are wired a little bit differently, and you get most people don't have those extreme emotions to where they lose control over their physical body, and it doesn't happen very often. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so we kind of go into some of that with a kiddo that has, you know, severe issues, and maybe, you know, later on in life ends up being diagnosed with like bipolar or maybe schizophrenia or something like that, and what that kind of looks like coming up, you know. So that's kind of cool. I think it's cool that you preach about that, because it's not. It's really important that people understand and know what it looks like to help out in that area. Yeah. So what all have you done? Or you said you're gonna be raising some money for, what was that, the company again?
I did that, and it's done.
Okay.
But you know, we refunded the money to the people who donated, because they've gotten a big investment from their father company. Yeah. And so I'm gonna do something else this year, and it's gonna be towards March. Okay. And you know, everybody stay tuned for that. You know, it's gonna be for mental health. I just want to ask you though, how is that significant for you? Like, what brought you to want to do that movie?
Well, it was the personal experience, and then after spending that much time, because I worked in the mental health field then for I want to say like about 6 years. Oh, okay. You know, working with kids for half of it, and then working on the management end for the other half. You get so you get so used to it that the bizarre becomes, you know, kind of day to day. Yes. And so I guess overall it's kind of an interesting story to share. Okay. Because it's not just the people that are suffering. Yeah. It's the people that are there to help them as well end up getting like kind of a skewed perspective. You know, and so the whole thing is kind of like the social worker is battling with the counselor over what's best for this kid, and so there's like the triangle of like we're trying to help this kid, and it's like, well, are we helping the kid, or are we just worried about our own egos? Right. And so that's another big issue that we cover in that.
That has to do with a lot of different things, and that's the reason why that, you know, it has to be pushed. This has to be pushed, and people have to be let known that, because if you're a kid and your parents have mental health issues, and it's just not like they don't have medication for it yet, and they're just dealing with it. You know, they're fighting every day, they're arguing every day, and these things may be seen super small, but they're showing their issues, and it's probably mental health, but you're a kid from this, so you don't realize like how this is making you feel, and then you turn into an adult and you have mental health issues, but it's stemming from stuff like that, you know, and it could be, you know, whoever, it could be auntie, uncle, or brother and sister, but those things go into play, and that's why I feel like it needs to be pushed, like, because a lot of people don't talk about none of their past traumas unless it's brought up, you know, and even when it's brought up, you know, it never knows if you're gonna, you know, get over it or fix it. A lot of people deflect, you know. And
I think our culture kind of sees it almost as a weakness if somebody's looking for help. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a guy.
especially if it's a guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're dealing with those things, and the thing is it's been proven if you go in for counseling sessions and they do the cognitive behavioral therapy and you go over any past traumas and bring that up, it's been proven to help people deal with that and lower their anxiety level, which helps them function on a daily basis at a much higher level.
Yeah. And a lot of that's why a lot of people don't want help, even from like friends or big brother or big sister, because they're afraid of that, looking down on you or whatever. But like you said, especially guys, where we have it the hardest, and even with with girls, it kind of falls into certain boxes at some point in time. They can be looked at as, they're always asking for help, because it may be more than one thing. They have way more heightened emotional baggage, sometimes than we do. Not to say that we can't get there, but they might have some that they really, really, really can't say.
I was actually listening to a report recently about the suicide rates in teenagers and preteens, and I guess it's exploded in the last 10 years due to the prevalence of social media and online bullying, especially for girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did, because a lot of times people think that, we're just getting better at diagnosing, but if you look at specifically like young girls that are cutting or committing suicide, it's gone up. I think it's like gone up twofold in like the last 10 years, just because of they think. I mean, you don't know, but that social media aspect, and when you're
that's definitely
when you're in middle school, like if you're connected with something that's uncool or it's kind of weird or something, it's like devastating to you.
Yes.
I mean, I remember that when I was in middle school. It was like, don't stick out. Do not stick out.
Right. Yeah, man. No, it's crazy, man. I think a lot of people don't take that to, because my friend tells me this a lot, and we were just having a conversation about this. A lot of people don't know their own value. You know what I'm saying? The values have been disappearing within our culture, as far as this generation and the generations after us. Social media is making it hard. It's making it hard. Like, your friend gets 100 likes, you get only 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or your auntie's getting I don't know, 50 likes, you're only getting 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your value is kind of like in jeopardy because of these social media interactions and how it works. So, and then no one's really teaching that anymore because they're too busy trying to grow their own value. So it's a lot of different things, and I guess people think I'm a part of it too, but that viral stuff, like I said, it gets scary or amazing at the same time. So it's one of those things where it's useful, but then you got to watch out, because when you teach a lesson to someone, you got to also know the ins and outs. So if you're saying, hey, you got to have your own value, blah blah, but then you're walking around with 1,000 views or whatever, they kind of look at you like, but you're good though. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a big thing. Like,
well, as long as you don't take that stuff personally, that's the important thing. Yeah. Maybe we should talk. I kind of wanted to talk about your tour. Because did you go on tour this last summer, or you were playing a few different locations?
I played a few. Well, it was kind of a tour, huh?
Well, I was just Googling you and then looking at some of your dates, and you were in California and where else?
Oh, you're talking about the Bands in Town dates. Yeah, some of those got canceled actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to do what I'm doing, hopefully this year.
Yeah.
And do a whole full tour, but I instead just did like some dates here, and I accomplished a lot of my goals as far as speaking and doing shows in the local area, because that was one of my goals, like to just gain the exposure here, and gain awareness here, and I think that definitely hit. But that tour, it was a wish list. So you seen it online, like that I had, and it was showing my team and this and that, and some of them didn't get accomplished, but we're looking into it for this year, 2019. Cool. And man. So I would just tell people to stay tuned. There should be an official Hakeem Prime tour pretty soon.
Cool.
Fingers crossed on that.
What does your setup look like?
My what?
Like your musical setup. I'm a novice when it comes to hip hop, just so you know. But I played music since I was like 14. But that was bass, drums, and guitar. You know what I mean?
It's good because at first I was gonna be like just solo, like just me on stage, blah blah. But then being here in Boise, they like bands a lot. Like Idaho is good for bands, so I was like, okay, I'll try to incorporate a band. And that's my setup now. Like I'll have a drummer, a guitarist, bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then right now we're practicing to do those things a cappella without a backtrack. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to do that pretty soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like now. That's the setup right now. Just having a band and trying to do things more as organically as possible. Not with the technical stuff.
Oh, okay.
But more so with the band equipment and stuff like that.
I kind of like a mixture myself.
Yeah. I'll get there.
When I remember, this is a long time ago, my first exposure in South Dakota, obviously we didn't get a lot of bands touring through there. Not a big town. But I remember I ran into this band, and they're called Drums and Tuba. I think since then they've gone into, this was like 2000, 2001 maybe.
Oh, okay.
And they were the first loop station band I ever saw. And so they had it was a drummer, a guitar player, and a tuba player. But the tuba player had his tuba hooked up to this giant effects pedal, and everybody was on this loop station that the drummer was controlling. And it was one of the coolest shows I've ever seen, because they would have songs that the tuba would be playing the bass line, and it was just like guitar and drums, And then they had the other ones where they were just looping all these things, and it turns into like this amalgam and this really interesting, intricate piece on top of that, And so the first time I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is really slick. But that's kind of like a hip hop type of way of composing almost. Yes. Okay. Right.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I feel like there's a lot of different, like a lot of those pieces, and then like the sampling and stuff is super cool, because if you take those samples and then add them up and layer them up, then all of a sudden you got something that's more than the sum of its parts, Right.
No, yeah. I can definitely see that. Like, and then like people were telling me to use Rhodes. I don't know if you know what that is. The Rhodes.
Is that a keyboard?
Yeah, keyboard.
Okay.
And to use that, and you can kind of manipulate the sound with audio and this and that and the third with the backtrack. I was like, all right, cool, I can get that, but I have to get a guy who knows how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I definitely I like to stay in the band area, because it sounds way better than the initial track. Like if I make a track sound good, okay, sound good, but with some bass and some drums, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. What is your writing process when you are writing? Because you have a lot of music.
Thank you.
I was digging around, and I just played signs to kind of get into some of your stuff, because it's on Spotify. I pay for Spotify. Okay. And then, but when I was just like looking around on all your different, you have quite a bit.
I would
of tunes.
say if you want to hear more, look me up on datpiff.com.
Okay.
That's the one that has all my stuff.
Okay.
Hyphy the Spider or Hakeem Prime, whichever. But my process has changed throughout the years, man.
Okay. How did it start?
It started.
Well, you said you started online. I started sampling.
Well, no, I mean, the Jam Glue, it started there, but then as far as the process, I would write like crazy.
Okay.
So I had a whole book of like just 360 pages of just raps. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, my first love for hip hop was just New York rap. Like that's what I just fell in love with that. Even though I was raised in Oakland, California at the time, I was just like, okay, what's the roots of this stuff?
Okay.
And New York rap is where it was at. So I was just like, man,
who are some of your influences?
Rakim.
Okay. He's one that I just got turned on to rather recently within the last year. Yeah, his stuff is amazing.
Yeah. So
and this stuff he was coming up with it like early 80s, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was like early 80s, and he has really awesome flow. Like his flow is amazing.
Yeah, he's the OG. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's who my uncle and stuff was listening to. So Rakim, Wu-Tang. I loved Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
When I was young, like Busta Rhymes was crazy to me. Like his rhyme scheme, like how he was flowing. That was my love right there. Like I just felt like that was just the essence of hip hop, like, and it is, So that's what I would do. I would just do that, and then of course, Ludacris was a big influence too. So then after that, I changed it up I started freestyling.
Okay.
Because I wanted to learn how to freestyle.
Yeah.
But then that became me freestyling songs.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, geez, like if I can just freestyle a song, why am I writing all these?
Mhm.
So then, that became a process. But then I learned the hard way that you can't keep freestyling. Because if you because then I started to learn how to sing too.
Okay.
So it became a thing to where I was losing how to sing
Mhm.
or get a melody. And then when I would start freestyling singing, I was losing how to rap,
Okay.
So because it's a whole freestyle process. So I learned that you have to keep writing in order for you to, keep gaining that creative experience. And if you don't write, over time, it's gonna just your creative experience is gonna die down.
It gets stale almost.
It gets stale.
When I was in like a jam band in college, and unless I sat down and learned how to play some like new guitar riffs or learn some new styles, I would just end up getting caught in the same riffs. It's okay. Now we're gonna jam on this chord structure for a while, and then I'd just be doing the same riffs, and they sounded better and better. But it's like I need some more skills in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was happy that I initially moved to Atlanta because then that gave me a whole other perspective of how your music should be. And I moved in 2005, 6 maybe. So that was back when the Snap era was coming up. Little John and all that was going up. So that helped me a lot. But then I continued to write, and I didn't really make an official track in 2006, 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I think that's up on that Piff, yeah. So Hyphy the Spider. And that was my name back then.
Okay.
Well, it was initial. I had 3 names. 4. Back when Snoop Dogg had the show called Doggy Fizzle.
Yeah, I remember that show. It was funny.
My name
was it was MTV. It was his comedy show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember that.
No, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyways, so I named myself
it was funny
at the time.
Okay.
So I was Hakeezy for a minute.
Yeah.
So that's what my family know me as.
Yeah.
So then after that, I changed it. Let me turn off my phone, man.
Okay.
My phone keep going off, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about that, bro. I changed it after that shortly to Hyphy Boy.
Okay.
Because of course I was in Atlanta at the time, but my this is my other phone, my bad. I was in Atlanta at the time, but I was trying to still rep my city where I was from, which is Oakland, California.
Okay.
So I was trying to rep Oakland still, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just be Hyphy Boy. Okay. So then after that, it didn't work out with that because I went back to Oakland, Cali, for a minute, and then like these kids started naming themselves Hyphy Boy, and they was in the gang, and they just messed up their reputation.
Oh, okay.
So if I would have said Hyphy Boy around the town, it wouldn't have looked good.
Okay.
So I changed to Hyphy the Spider.
Okay.
At the time, went back to Atlanta. Everybody was rocking with it, and that was good up until I did Slip Up. But like I told you, and a lot of people don't know this, Slip Up was initially like just a joke because I think that was close to the time where Chief.
That's your viral video, Slip Up.
Yes, that's my viral video, Slip Up. But that was around the time like Chief Keef came out, and at first, I didn't really mess with no drill music. Like it was just not the thing for me. Like I wouldn't. Like I said, I'm old school in a way because I like New York hip hop. I like the rhyme schemes, the rap. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the mumble and the drill and all that stuff. It wasn't really my feel, but it grew on me.
Yeah.
And I think from there I was just like, I just made Slip Up. I was like, all right, I'm about to say some real and then keep it simple.
Yeah.
Because that's how they, that's what people like, I guess. And I just tried it. Slip Up hit. I told my boy Bobby for Prez, shout out to him because he made another beat because I did it on the beat that I didn't even pay for.
Oh.
And then I redid that on Bobby for Prez's beat. And then we like, I'm gonna just take this. We're gonna go and boom, and it went. So
nice.
that's what happened. And then I was like, well, since I mean, even before that, the last mixtape that I did, it got I think like 3,000 views and downloads. So and Slip Up was the one after that. So I was just like, I'm gonna just put that out, and then it went crazy viral, 2 million in like a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, actually 1 million a month. And then I said, oh no, I don't believe that. It didn't go 2 million. It didn't go 1 million a month. I don't believe that shit. So I posted again.
Yeah.
I posted the video again on my personal because I had a Vivo at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I posted it and it went 1 million. I was like, man, this is fake. I'm like, Bobby, you seeing this? He like, man, it's going, man. I'm like, yeah, right. So I posted on my personal page. No subscribers.
Yeah.
None. Posted on my personal page. It goes crazy again. That one hitting 1 million in like 3 weeks.
Dang.
So I got 4 million in this whole thing because both videos now to this day have 2 million views.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, man, I'm mad. I'm heated.
Yeah.
I'm mad because this drill music has took off, and
this isn't necessarily what you want.
This is not what I want.
Yeah.
I do not want this. I want people to see like the raps, the rhymes, and everything, but people are like just rocking with the beat.
Yeah.
So I changed my name, man. I was like, I'm not gonna be Hyphy the Spider no more because y'all just messed up my whole.
Yeah.
Because then I'm gonna have to keep making music like that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Which I should have did. I should have just kept it going.
Oh, yeah.
But I was, 90s baby, trying to be, trying to keep my pride.
Yeah.
So I just changed it to be, a little bit more mature and, keep it Hakeem Prime because, I'm a big fan of DC Comics.
Oh, okay.
And, Batman Prime, Superman Prime are the originals.
Yeah.
So I put Prime at the end of my name.
Oh, there we go.
To, be original.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
So you focus on the lyrics and the melody then with your writing?
Yes.
That's kind of
yes.
So you have pages. Do you ever go back on some of those pages that you wrote?
Do.
And
so
then,
even like songs like Real People, songs like I Want You, Plane Crash. Those are all songs I wrote when I was 14, 15 years old.
oh, okay.
So I just expanded upon them. And yeah, I still have those notepads today. There's a lot of freestyles that I still have on my pages. And yeah, so I think I'm done with that whole book though. I think I did all those songs. I have like over 50 plus songs.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's why I said if you want to really hear some music of old Hakeem Prime, that Piff under Hyphy the Spider or Hakeem Prime.
Okay.
That'd be. But I'm a little reckless, little extra sexual,
okay.
back then. So,
right on.
So it's not really this guy that you're talking to. It's more like the reckless guy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I did. I just, did all these raps at one point in time, kept doing them, and then looked at how fire there were. They're like, and how fire they are still. And I'll either change them or I'll just do them again. Sometimes I freestyle though, to be honest.
Okay.
There's times where I freestyle, like a whole track. Like there's a track I just did called Sidekick.
Yeah.
I wrote the hook, but I just freestyled the verses,
Oh, okay.
both of them, because I just wanted to be. It's a diss track to someone here actually.
Okay. Is that the one with the
Sidekick? Have you heard it?
No, is that the one you sent me?
Did I send you one?
No, you sent me like a news article.
Yeah, news article. That's probably.
Yeah, but I don't think there was a track link to it.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, Sidekick is a diss track. It's a subliminal diss because someone subliminally dissed me out here.
Oh.
Which that happens a lot here.
Oh, okay.
No, that happens too
Really?
much here. Oh man, when I first got here in 2014.
In the Treasure Valley?
Yes.
Huh.
Because that's what I'm saying. They don't really know the rules of. I mean, there really isn't any rules. There's like some rules, but they can be changed. Obviously, you see these mumble raps going on. You know what I'm saying? So there's rules that are old rules, but they can be changed. But as far as disses go, you're not really supposed to diss without saying their name.
Oh, okay.
But if you talk about what they've been doing,
yeah,
and the rules here are, you can do a subliminal diss, and someone's gonna know who it is
because there's not a lot.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, you get it.
Yeah.
So here, that's a common thing. So I took it there, and I just did a subliminal diss back. I ain't even gonna say their name because everyone knows already. Like I said, that's a rule here.
Yeah.
Whoever subliminal disses, they know who they talking about. Anyways, just did that. So yeah, like I said, I freestyled the verses, and I wrote the hook. That's it.
Okay.
That's the process, bro.
Right on. And then what about the beats and stuff?
The beats? Oh yeah, man. Cause I make beats myself.
Okay.
But like as far as like if I'm really just trying to do a song or something, I'll just go on YouTube, get an email from a producer.
Okay.
And reach out to them and do it that way. If it's free, you make sure you put the producer's name in there. If you don't, they're gonna get you.
Okay. Where do you go for that? You just go on YouTube and you find people?
if that's something that I want to do, then I'll do it. But there's a lot of people here. Like there's a couple guys that do beats here, and that I can go to and pay them and do an outtrack if I want to like sell something.
Okay.
But if you want to do something for free and just not sell it, yeah, YouTube is dope. You just gotta make sure you're talking to these guys like that make beats because they work hard. So. And if you don't do that, then their name is gonna be at the bottom of the video or song, anyways.
Yeah.
If you don't, so.
Hey, what advice do you have for people that want to get involved in hip hop or music in the area? Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. A lot of times people get nervous; they don't want to take that first step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Advice?
Yeah.
I would just say. First of all,
is there an open mic area here in town where you can do something like that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even tell them that first because they don't realize what they're getting into.
Okay.
They don't.
Yeah.
So this thing costs a lot of money to do.
Okay.
First and foremost, a lot of these kids, they don't know that. They don't think about that.
Yeah.
And it's not just something that you could just do without it. Which I mean, you can, but you're not gonna have a long career if you don't have something.
Yeah.
So take that, and if you do have skills, if you can write, if you know how to spit, if you're confident, do it. Go for it. Have some great concepts. Go to open mics. Don't take no shit from no one. Yeah, man, just do it and be, do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
But don't be in denial of the real true facts, which are, it's gonna take, if you want to be famous, because that's really the end goal for everybody. Most of the people,
Or
if they're not
make enough money to pay all the bills,
pay bills, get a house or whatever,
do what you love.
They're not doing it because someone locked me in the basement and I would have to do it to get out. No, they're doing it because they want to be famous. And I, that doesn't sway away from my once dream to be famous as well. But I came to realize as I was doing it, which is that it's too late, that it's gonna take more than that to become famous. And I've realized fame is not that's not where you even want to be.
Yeah.
But if
where is it? Where do you want to be?
Well, you want to be to a place where you're making money and you can pay bills. Fame is like something totally different. You're making money, but you're getting too much publicity. You're like, you gotta, pay a lot of taxes on that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that comes with it. There's a lot of things that come with fame. Yeah. There's a story where like I was in LA at one point in time.
Yeah.
And this was like the end of 2014. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyways,
okay.
A lot of people have like, here there's a kid, I'm not gonna say his name. He wants it really, 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 really bad, the fame.
Yeah.
He can do music too.
Yeah.
But the first thing he asks about is the fame. And how did I get fame?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm not even. But a lot of people like, yo, bro, how did you? No, I'm not even there. Like I'm just working my day-to-day jobs and doing this on the side. I've been doing it since I was about 14 though.
Yeah.
and I was playing around and didn't realize what I was doing until a certain time. But then I can sustain it now because I know why I'm doing it now, and I know it has changed. You know, the reason has changed. So you're not gonna have the same reason that you're doing it the whole time. You know, it's gonna have to change in order for you to mature.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, reaching fame or girls, dude, if you keep that until you're 35, Jesus Christ. Well, let me shut up. I'm not gonna mention anyone's names here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna mention no one's names.
We can go a little bit. We talked about a lot of the things naturally without me having to look at my question list. I did want to ask you one question. If you had to play an instrument, would you prefer to play the accordion or the banjo? One of those two.
The
and
accordion or the banjo? The accordion or the banjo? Jeez, that's a good question, man.
Mm-hmm.
The accordion, probably. That's the
Yeah.
one that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Steve Urkel had that, man.
Yeah, Steve Urkel did have that.
I would rock that.
Weird Al was that was his
Oh, yeah.
original bit. The first thing that he ever covered was Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Rides the Bus, and he played the accordion and then had somebody drumming on his accordion case.
Okay.
And that was the track that made him
That's
Weird
what
Al.
made him popular?
Yeah, it started with that. I mean,
jeez.
it was that must have been in the 80s or something because it wouldn't have been that long
Dude,
after
you
the
even
song
know,
came out.
I thought I was talking to a friend about this. The reason why he's famous, I thought, was because he was on TV with like standing next to Rick James and James Brown. I was like, what the hell? He was next to these guys? No wonder he's famous.
No, I didn't hear that story at all.
Yeah, no.
It might have something to do with that
saw
on
a
top of
picture.
the weird music that he does.
Right. But I want to talk about what's next for me. I don't.
Sure.
Maybe that's the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So what's next? I have this music video. So first, I wanted to ask you while we're on here, what did you think about those stabbings that happened last year?
Well, obviously they're atrocious.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's always scary when something happens here close to home.
Yeah.
That's one of those scary events that makes national news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's every day for where I grew up.
Okay. But it doesn't make
shot.
national news because it happens.
Yeah, it doesn't make national, but
Yeah.
it's in local news all the time.
This is in Oakland.
Oakland,
Yeah.
Oakland mostly.
Yeah.
Atlanta too. Usually shootings. So stabbings is kind of. But yeah, that was one of those things where I wish never happened.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I actually met the guy before this happened.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
We didn't hang for much long.
Yeah.
But I think one of my friends eventually gave him a ride back to that place. I don't think it was the same night, but yeah, man. That's one of the reasons why mental health should be talked about here, bro.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this guy was definitely in a mental health situation. Like he was on the brink, and which it showed, you know. You can instantly tell when you have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
That's where, he was about to snap. Because there was so many things that were on his head. But yet, I didn't know him. So you don't want to like say, oh, I know this is happening. Like, because, you're just meeting him within a few seconds.
Yeah.
But as soon as you say, hey, I live this place, but I'm not there for long, and I need to try to find a place and this and that. And, well, don't you have a job? And this one, well, I got these felonies, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, man, damn. So you're like on the brink of like, because you're already like old enough to where you should have it, So yeah, I just was pissed off, man.
Yeah.
I was pissed off just because he said he's from California.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, man, come on, bro. When I first heard the stabbings happen, and I saw the picture, I'm like, mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things where...
Well, it's got to be crazy if you've ran into the guy, too.
Yeah. And like I said, I didn't really, we didn't talk for much long.
Yeah.
It was, going to China Blue,
Yeah.
about to chill. Oh, what's up? we're both the same color, kind of thing.
I suppose like in Boise, it's like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many of us here.
Yeah.
So what's up, bro? But and then after that, I just spend the rest of my night with some of my other friends. But like I said, when I seen that, it was just, God, come on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I went immediately to diss him on the track, man.
Yeah.
It's called Missed Out. If you want to check it out, it's on my SoundCloud, Hakeem Prime. It's I dissed him right away, man, and I think it was just because I was just so furious about how could you do that to a kid.
Yeah.
I know maybe you're on a because I don't know the full story. I assume that a story that I heard is true, but you don't know the full story. You just hear rumors. I heard that he lived in that house.
That's what I read in the paper, or something.
So he would know it's her birthday.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, it got me really mad, got me heated. I dissed him on the track. Now, fast forward, he goes to trial a couple times. They push it away, and now it gone off to 2020. I heard.
Oh, I haven't followed up on it,
bro. And they're trying to say he may be incompetent.
Okay.
And like I said, that goes back to mental health. People have to go check themselves out or other people. If you realize someone may have mental health issues, go get them help. Like, that's the biggest thing that you could do for someone. I know, like, a lot of people don't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't want it, but like, at least insinuate, like, hey, you think you should like go to this place right now? Like, check out on yourself. Like, you know, I'm just looking out for you.
Are you getting enough sleep? Do you have enough?
Are you getting enough sleep?
Yeah.
Are you eating enough? Or are you okay right now? Like, I know a shelter, like, if you need, or you know what I'm saying? Like, just stuff like that, because you never know what someone can do when their head is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
When their head is heavy, it's one of those things where you don't know what's gonna happen for this person.
I talked to a lot of people about that's. In my opinion, a lot of times the issues when we do have these intense events that happen, there's a mental health issue.
Yeah,
because you're mentally not well if you go and just decide to arbitrarily start killing people.
Yes, definitely.
And one of the most famous cases was in the 70s, the shooter at that university in Texas. Did you ever? He was up there sniping people, and so he actually he wrote a letter and put it on in his jacket, and he said, when I'm done, do an autopsy on my brain. Something's not right.
Oh gosh!
And they found a tumor.
Oh man!
And so the tumor had developed, and he started to have obviously like strange. But that's the thing is like obviously he had a tumor, and then like hindsight's 2020, like that must have been the tumor that caused him to have that outburst. But the thing is like when it's visible like that, we can be like, it's the tumor. But sometimes, I mean, people just, our brains are so delicate, and the chemistry is so susceptible to any types of shifts.
But that I think a lot of people are going to be like, well, that doesn't excuse it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just stab 9 people and say, oh, he has a mental health issue. That's it. But at the same time, like, it has to be, because I believe he was with refugees. They didn't, really probably speak English that well or something.
Yeah.
And he was trying to maybe manipulate the situation or whatever. But whatever led up to what happened, still not right. It's still not right.
No,
it's still not right. I don't want to have people think like, oh, just because you think you have a mental health or issue or something like that, that excuses it. But at the same time, if he would have had help before that,
it's prevention.
Yes.
Yeah. Like possible prevention.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And that little girl will still be here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's next is I'm gonna put a music video out for that song.
Okay.
Which is about 6 months old now. But it got posted on 103.5's blog. I talked about it when it happened, and like I said, I I just want to show, people another side. A lot of people don't know who I am, and a lot of people don't know what kind of music I make. So that's a outlet right there. But I think mental health is something that we need to keep talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's a big thing here. I think we're a third in the suicide list. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Idaho. Is third.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing to touch on. And we can talk about it, man. We can just get it out. A lot of people need help. A lot of people want guidance. So we can do that.
Cool. And that's an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming on, Hakeem.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to that video, and
All right.
we'll be in touch.
Okay, man.